Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with the smack habit. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit the like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. Let's get this a little bit closer because we're about to get our roast on. Nah, I'm just kidding, right? Or am I? One never knows, does one. But what we do know for sure is there was not an active Norteno walking in the streets of LA. There was a dysfunctional Norteno walking in the streets of LA, right? I see a lot of people making videos on Little Big Toro, right? Who, you know, I have a history with, man. And I'm not going to try to go in on the guy. You know, the guy goes in on himself every time he opens his mouth. And the fact is that I've been watching videos of him pull up to Hawaii, Japan, Chinatown, fucking now Los Angeles, right? And not only does he pull up to LA, which that's fine and dandy. That's cool, man. Anyone can go anywhere they want. Air, opportunity, and gas money will get you there. But at the same time, I've always been a big proponent for respect. And if you go in someone else's backyard, someone else's neighborhood, someone else's area, like Cholo Juan would say, right? You need to show a level of respect for them grounds that you're walking on, because there are people that have bled, made the ultimate sacrifice, and that live in that area that feel some type of way, especially when you come disrespecting. Now, there's a lot of people making videos about the disrespect that Little Toro was saying while in the streets of LA. And everything's cool. But I'll say this. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. That goes for everybody, but especially him, because I didn't like the way he thought, hey, going to LA, representing a cause that he is no longer a part of, whether in his crazy mind he wants to believe he is or not. Look, when you are kicked out of the group, when you are ostracized from the group, when you are told you are no longer in good standings, guess what, buddy? You are no longer in good standings. And in your delusional mind, you could still be whatever you want to be. You could be a G.I. Joe character with a kung fu grip. But that doesn't mean that that one individual speaks for that whole cause. Now, we know traditionally North versus South has been going on for 50 plus years. Okay. Upstate, the upstaters up north in Northern California, there is a big rivalry. There is a lot of guerra, a lot of war, a lot of people have spilled blood, and a lot of blood continues to get spilled, and a lot of back and forth, and a lot of Sur gang, and a lot of Norte gang, and all that. They're going at it, right? But I've always considered Southerners from Southern California, the Los Angeles area, all the way to the IE to San Diego, kind of out of bounds for Norteños. There's no reason to go down there, peacocking your chest, and saying you're this and that in someone else's area. It just ain't cool. It doesn't make you look cool. And I know nowadays the thing to do because of social media is pull up to a rival's neighborhood and kind of boast and brag that you're right there. But if you notice, not one of these guys, never do they go live from that area. They always predate shit. They always pre-record. You know, there's gang members. There's a lot of gang members in the state of California. But there's certain spaces you can go, places you can go where you're not going to, during the part of a certain part of the day, you're not going to see gang members like that. There's not a gang members on every fucking block and every corner at every store, you know. You can actually walk into a 7-Eleven and go get you a big gulp, right? Gulp it and get the fuck up out of there. Now, if you happen to rock into the wrong store where the wrong individual's there and they feel some type of way, well, then there's some type of ways going to get filled out. That's just how that is. This dude, Little Toro, decided to pull up to Los Angeles for whatever crazy reasons he has. And instead of going and like a tourist and going checking things out, you know, he pulled up to King Taco, which is historically known as one of the better taco shops in the Los Angeles area. Instead of going in there and showing respect and ordering a burrito and saying, hey, look, man, I got me a burrito in LA. It's bomb. It's as bomb as it is in Northern California, if not more bomb. Sur gang, they got good shit, right? And showing respect to historical places and places that are involved and ingrained in our culture as Mexicans, right? Instead of doing that, the first thing this dude does is J-Cat out in the taco shop, scaring the viejita, the old lady that was working there, and he gets the boot up out of there. Don't no one want to do business with a J-Cat. Nobody wants to do. They have the right to refuse service. And when you go in there being disrespectful because you can't afford a fucking burrito, people are going to feel the same. That's that type of way. That doesn't mean, you immediately get mad and start blaming the Sur gang, right? You don't start disrespecting them. Now, this dude walked around, put his red t-shirt on, let his Mongolian fucking flare out. First of all, I know he's not an active Norteno. I know him personally, so I know that ain't the case. I know how they feel about him the same way they feel about me, right? You aren't part of that, right? You can't speak for that whatsoever. You might have been at some point, but you are no longer, right? But you can't be rocking a Mongolian around Los Angeles trying to have it your way like the Burger King, right? Because Northerners don't even have Mongolians anymore. It trips me out when I see Northerners with Mongolian. I don't know if that's making a comeback, if that's allowed, but I remember when that was discontinued. I remember when that was disenfranchised, right? When Mongolians, we were told to cease and desist on Mongolian wearing, because not only did it make you a target within the CDC, but it made you a target to your enemies. And Norteños have always been the type of group that wants to fly under the radar, just do their thing, get in and get out. Okay, that boasting, that bragging, that graffiti, that talking shit, that had never, ever, ever, ever been part of the Northern cause. But I'm seeing in this generation with these youngsters, it's starting to become that. Now, as far as Little Toro representing something, he can rep whatever he wants. It doesn't mean he is that. But he decided to go to Los Angeles and walk around talking shit, J-catting out like he does, wearing a red t-shirt, some high-ass socks all the way to the kneecap, some beat-up-ass K-Swisses, right? And, of course, a Mongolian unbraided. I think he heard people were giving him a hard time because he had his shit French braided. I ain't never seen a French braided Mongolian. That's new shit. I'm trying to see what that be like. I ain't never seen a French braided Mongolian on a Northerner in my life. Man, what is this world coming to? Touchy, right? This motherfucker had the French braided Mongol. Anyways, he got it all bushed out, looking like a Uso, right? Oof, oof. And he's walking around the streets of LA disrespecting Southern California. First of all, man, if you ain't really about the business and you don't go there with the intentions to put in some work and do your thing, which I don't understand why you would do that, and you're an uninvited guest, man. If you're a guest in my home, if I'm a guest in anyone else's home, I treat them homeowners with respect, right? I treat people, there's rules and regulations to everyone's house. It might be a little bit different from mine, but I adapt and I understand that this is their home. This is the way they want it. They want you to take your shoes off by the door. I get that, right? I respect it. Same thing goes for the streets. You don't go into someone else's land and think that you're doing an invasion all by yourself and pre-record a video walking down the street where no one's at and talk shit. Okay. I was cool with it. I seen people making videos. I was like, it's whatever, bro. He's just catting out. You have to understand that little big Toro, and me having personally been around him and know who he is and know how he rocks, right? He'll probably think this video is boosting his street cred. But I've actually know that this guy does have what I would call split personalities. 1 minute he's cool, the next minute he's uncool. And I understand about the history of his past allegations on his paperwork and all. I'm not even going to get into that. I pay no never mind. This is neither here nor there. I'm not rocking with them like that, so it doesn't matter to me, right? I ain't going to go kick it with him, period. I did that, right? Until I realized it wasn't cool, right? And that's that. But for this guy to go down there, he's really making the Norteño movement take 100 steps, 100 years back. They're going back in the caveman days, because if this is the type of individual that's going to be condoned walking around representing the Norte cause in Los Angeles, well, damn, the Norte cause got another thing coming. I know, personally, active Norteños don't. They think that dude's a misrepresentation, and they already know, like I know, he's a J-Cat, okay? But not only is he a J-Cat because he has J-Cat qualities, but he's also, even more so than that, someone who has mental and medical issues. He has issues, right? You could tell that bipolar shit is really going on there. Okay, that schizophrenic Hispanic is really going on there. And so it doesn't, if I'm walking down the street and I see someone catting out going crazy, man, I'm going to pay him no never mind, because it's a dangerous situation and I'm going to walk away from some bullshit. But if that dude was so down and disrespecting, why didn't he do it live? Why didn't he? You know why? Of course, because he's not stupid enough to put himself in that type of danger. People are like, oh, he's with it. He walked the streets of LA wearing a red t-shirt. So what? I know Southsiders that walk the streets of LA wearing red t-shirts. Colors don't matter over there. No one's paying attention to colors. Okay, no one was going to look. If anything, people were going to look and say, damn, look at that dude talking to himself all crazy and shit, doing this with a bushed out Mongolian. No one's going to pay attention to that. Now, there's certain areas that if he was walking around in, he could have got, especially if he was live. But he ain't going to do that because he ain't that stupid. All that was for clout and to just fucking try to disrespect the South Side, unwarranted and unneeded. Okay, unless you're, look, you don't got to go to Southern California to get off where you're mad at. You could do that in your own backyard. Southsiders are right there. They're everywhere in Northern California. I remember back in our days, we used to hate to say it, but the truth is, that's the truth. Okay, the truth is, when I used to have little homeboys or homeboys right there in the garage getting all high, talking about, hey, bro, fuck them Vatos, I used to say, go to Atwater. They're right there. They're in a garage saying the same thing about us, but go handle your business, because I don't want to confuse you with thinking that I'm the type of man that'll sit here and talk about behind their back. Because, see, I've done time with Southsiders. I've been in prison yards on level 4s and level 3s with Southsiders. See, I've been in the youth authority with Southsiders, right? Real ones that have put something on your back, right? They'll put you on your back. And so I've always respected the get down of everyone, because I realized, man, they were just the opposite side of the coin. We just claimed two different fucking, we had two different causes. But at the end of the day, we were all brown, bro. And we had that blood going through us, and it was on. It was, if it's on, it's on, and it was. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But for this guy in the year 2025 with a bushed out ass crooked Mongolian and some high ass socks, one higher than the other, to be walking around LA disrespecting, that wasn't gangster shit. That was JCat shit. Okay, I wasn't even going to do a video on this, but I seen everyone else making their videos. Oh, and I'm seeing it pop up on different social medias. Active Norteno walking around the streets of LA, and people in there like, yeah, see, we ain't scared. He's not active, homie. That he's in his own mind. His mind is actively all fucked up, but that's it. Don't look at, he does not represent the Norteno movement. That dude doesn't even represent himself at times, man. He's just a dude that needs very, very much needs a hug. You know what I'm saying? We should start a campaign. We should start a GoFundMe. Try to raise enough money for someone to go over there and give him a hug. That Vato's in need of a hug very bad, right? He needs a friend. You need a friend. I've seen videos of him disrespecting, then double back and doing a video crying, begging people to forgive him. It wasn't like that. And then going back to San Francisco, talking about 415 on mine and disrespecting Southsiders again. Look, the Vato's equilibrium isn't equal. It's just librium or lithium. It's all fucked up. So I say to the people that are condoning that bullshit, man, you know, you don't do that. Look, I went to Southern California. When I was there, I was welcomed there by certain people, not by everybody. I understood that. But the people that did welcome me, they showed me nothing but respect and love and was humbled, man. And were happy that I was there, man. And I was getting to see things I never seen before, you know, as an adult. Because I remember going through LA when I was younger. And I tell you the stories all the time. My primos from Compton and Weedmas, not Wiggle, but I was in my younger age. I was active gang member. I wasn't seeing it the way an adult sees it, like for what it is. I see it for our culture. I see it for historic landmarks now. I see it for the badass, beautiful women in Southern California. I see it for the good-ass fucking Mexicano food. I see it for my paisas that get up every day on the corner struggling. Like, I see it different from a different perspective. I don't see North and South because I'm not part of that. I don't see Southsiders on the corner and think, oh, man, fuck them Vatos. I'm going to disrespect them because I'm from up north. That don't matter. They're doing their thing, and I respect what they're doing. Do I accept what they're doing as a human being? I have to accept it. Am I going to go over there and involve myself in it? Nah, it's not my cha-cha. It's none of my business, right? So for this guy to be doing that, all he's going to do is cause people to start talking shit. Now you got a whole bunch of people in the fucking comments on different social media platforms, even this platform, talking shit to each other, talking shit about each other, all because some JCat who's being misconstrued as an active Norteno went down to LA to get a taco and couldn't afford it. Look, the fact is this. That dude right there is on his own campaign. He's on his campaign of destruction. Okay? And he's not as stupid as people think. I don't believe that's a stupid man. I believe that's a confused man that has issues, but he's not stupid. He knows how to stir up a conversation. He knows how to get you and me talking, right? He knows what he's doing. He knows about publicity. He's been doing the rap game and all that shit for years. But utilizing real life shit, gangs, when you utilize gangs for attention, when you're talking about Norteños going to Southern California disrespecting, come on, bro. A real Norteño won't do that. A real Norteño will go down there with respect, eh? And if shit happens, then shit happens. They're going to stand their ground and represent where they're from automatically off the top. But to be woofing in the streets and JCatting out, nah, that only makes the cause look fucking bad, period. Especially when the next day you're going to go online and cry and beg the people for their forgiveness. Look, I learned a long time ago, when you ask people for forgiveness, hey, it's a good thing to mount up to your mistakes and to apologize if you've done something wrong. But when you're continuously begging people for their forgiveness, man, they're going to stop forgiving you because you shouldn't have did the idiotic thing you did in the beginning to be forgiven. Now, I'm not a hypocrite. And with that being said, there has things that I've said or done in the past, and I'm like, hey, forgive me. Hey, discúlpame, homie. Right? Hey, dispensa la tira. Like I've said things. Uh-oh. On the tira has entered the chat. There's my boy. Right? There's things that I've said, but at the end of the day, as a man, I feel I have to come forward and confess a feeling and apologize, right, to certain individuals. But I'm not going to sit here and cry the day after and then disrespect the next day again and talk shit. He did a video in Frisco now that he's back on safe grounds, which aren't really safe for him, but in his mind, he thinks he is. You know, all that, hey, I could walk around, I'm in the streets, I could do this, I could do that. You're just setting yourself up for disaster. But you notice these videos always come out after the fact. There's never no live. There's never no going live in 18th Streets, Barrio, or Maravilla. And that ain't going to happen. You know, I remember when I went to Southern California, man, you know, I wasn't scared. I wasn't shook up, but I was concerned and I was very aware, right? Of course. And that's even if I'm in certain parts of Northern California. And we're not talking about the dropout active bullshit. I'm talking about just being a fucking Mexicano, man, wearing certain colors in certain areas. I'm going to be very aware because I know that some people take it as disrespect just you being there. You don't even got to talk shit. You're out of bounds. We don't allow you to be in our neighborhood. We don't want you here, nor do we want to see you here, right? You take Lefty Gunplay, Sur Gang, right? Let's go to Lefty Gunplay. He even said it in videos, and a lot of people misconstrued it and said he was a punk and he was scared, but I knew it for what it was. He said, I ain't going to Northern California. Them fools don't like me up there. It's all bad up there. See, he's not scared to let you guys know what it really is. He knows as a man, hey, I've said things in the past because of the way I conduct myself, because of who I am and what I represent. That is a losing cause up there for me. I'll be outnumbered. I'll be in a bad situation and I'll be out of bounds. And he knows that how he feels about the Northerners. So he's not going to go up there in their area and disrespect. He's just going to stay away. He's like, I'll do my thing down here where I'm from. You do your things up there. Ain't going to be no issues, right? Little Toro does not represent the cause. He's doing it for clout. He's doing it to talk shit. And he really needs a hug. He needs a friend. I'm telling you, that's the truth. And for all these people running around talking about, oh man, he's an active Norteno, bro, you gotta do your fucking homework. That dude hasn't been active since the early 2000s. Okay, how he fell off, why he fell off is none of my business. I don't care, man. I don't play the active, non-active shit because to tell you the truth, I'm not active, right? So I don't play that. But I will say that when you're misrepresented, just because you grow a Mongolian and put a red t-shirt on, don't make you a Norteno, homie. Just because your socks, one is pulled up higher than the other, doesn't make you a gang member or a cholo. You know, that dude, no matter how his hair is, no matter what he says, he's always just going to be a J-cat with mental deficiencies, cruising around, claiming a cause. And you can get people in wrecks. Look, I know, I'll tell you this. Back in the days, the early 90s, or not early 90s, late 90s, 96, 97, man, I just got out of YA. I was super gang banged. Now, I had a Mongolian, but that was back when we could have them, right? And I was repping. But again, man, my disrespect hit wasn't as disrespectful as this cat is, right? I was in my area. I was doing my thing. And we had younger homies, little clique in our area, right? And they would go put in work on the rivals, right? And they would be hollering out the hood. But it wasn't sanctioned. We weren't telling them to don't go to the snack ass shit. Like everything we did was flawless and prepared and well thought out because we weren't trying to go to prison. We're trying to get away with something. They needed to know what we were doing, but everyone else didn't. But these guys were yelling loud, broad daylight. And I know you like say, well, that's real gangster shit. And that's real stupid. Because you're going to bring the heat on us, law enforcement, and all that. Like, if we say it's all out guerra and let's go, then it was let's go time. Anywhere on site, green light, right? But if it wasn't, says, do it smooth with a purpose. You know what I mean? That was our thing. And because they were doing what they did and we were older, we got some of the dudes from the rival neighborhood that had respect because we were locked up together, got at us. And what did we do? We didn't say, oh, well, fuck it. That's the little homies. We got their back no matter what. No, we felt some type of way and pulled the little homies to the side. Some of them got DP'd and their actually clique got disbanded. And they either went to one group and that's how another gang member said was formed. I've told the story, right? And that's just the truth. It's the facts, right? The fact of the matter is, man, they weren't speaking for us. We were not going to allow them to disrespect us by going out there saying some frivolous bullshit that they weren't going to back up. Come to the hood, man, and say that. You guys weren't going to be there. We were. And we're just drinking, chilling. We're going to get shot. Nah. That's kind of what Little Toro is doing, man. He's a non-active, non-functioning, J-Cat ass, wannabe Norteno running around the streets of L.A., disrespecting people, right? Disrespecting innocent people. He was doing the same thing in Hawaii. There's families enjoying themselves. He's J-catting out, going crazy. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? He's on total crash out mode. You think, but he's not really. See, all that's scripted. All that is to gain attention. Okay, he wants everyone to recognize him. It's like the Island Boys. They'll kiss each other for recognition. This dude is trying to kiss the cause for recognition. He's trying to tongue kiss the cause. But at the end of the day, he'll go back and he'll make songs and talk all about the Norteños and how he should have been a Southsider. Then he'll go to LA disrespecting people on the streets. Then he'll cry in a car or in a motel room, right, with roaches. And then he'll go back to Frisco and do a video talking shit about everyone again. See it for what it is, man. I'm just going to say, for people that are saying that's an active Norteño, no, look, I'm not here to speak in behalf of them or nothing, because I'm not that. But an active Norteño would not conduct himself the way that dude did, period. You see these young northern rappers and shit, they go to No Jumper, they go down in LA, and they're just out there doing their thing. That's it. You see Southsiders, they went to Fresno, they go up north, they're just doing their thing. Motherfuckers are going to stand on what they stand on, right? But you're not supposed to disrespect any man, especially in their backyard. That's just the facts. Sunday video, man, just something I want to throw out there. See other people doing videos. I was like, fuck it, let me do something on it, man. I'm going to let you guys know right now, little Toro needs a fucking big old hug. Just give him a bear hug and let that be that. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, man. Thank you guys. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy that Raiders game, even though we're losing to the Broncos. And it just is what it is. Bang, bang.